Soft winds carry us to distant lands, where ancient temples stand quietly beneath the stars. Here, in places where rituals of old have unfolded, the echoes of destruction have shaped paths of healing, whispering to the spirit in subtle, gentle ways. Let us drift together through these sacred spaces, feeling the weight of history dissolve into calm, and seeing how even acts of conflict, when remembered, can teach the soul about resilience, forgiveness, and the quiet power of letting go. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow the spirit to move through the stories of ritual, of fire, of devotion, and of transformation. In the soft glow of memory, even destruction becomes a doorway to peace. If you feel the calm of these ancient stories, share your thoughts below, or simply breathe along with us. Subscribe gently if these tales help you rest and dream. The sky is soft and pale, the first whispers of dawn brushing the edges of the horizon. Shadows stretch across stone walls, bending gently with the quiet wind. You float through this stillness, guided by the dim glow of lanterns that flicker like distant stars. The air carries a faint scent of incense, old and sweet, reminding the spirit of rituals long past. Here, in this twilight, time moves slowly, almost as if it breathes with you. You drift toward the temple gates, their wood worn smooth by generations of hands. Each door tells a story in its grain. Each hinge murmurs secrets of countless prayers and soft footsteps. Around you, the world is hushed. Even the birds, perched on ancient beams, hold their breath in gentle reverence. The first rays of light touch the carvings, painting them with tender warmth. You sense the calm that comes after storms of old rituals, the quiet that follows acts of devotion and destruction alike. Within these walls, the echoes of ritual fire still linger. Flames once rose to honor gods, to offer thanks, to cleanse sorrow. You can feel their warmth, not in heat but in memory. Each stone and pillar seems to hold a sigh, soft and lingering, a reminder that even in endings there is a beginning. Your breath slows as the spirit of the temple surrounds you. The gentle wind carries soft sounds of distant drums, far off, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Each beat calls forth a wave of calm, inviting the mind to rest. Here in this sacred space, the spirit of history moves like a quiet river. Stones that once bore the marks of ritual conflict now shine with a gentle light. They tell of resilience, of renewal, and of quiet strength. You float alongside this light, feeling it press softly against your eyelids, and with each exhale, the tension of the day drifts away. You notice how even in destruction, there is care, intention, and a return to harmony. Soft steps echo in the distance. Monks, or perhaps shadows of those who came before, move with a grace that seems woven into the air. They carry incense and candles, small offerings that dance in the wind. The fragrance is comforting, like a lullaby that has traveled across centuries. You watch as the candlelight reflects upon the worn floors, casting gentle shapes that rise and fall like soft waves. Even the broken tiles, cracked by the hands of time, hold beauty. They remind you that nothing is lost, only transformed. Outside the temple walls, the garden begins to stir. Dew clings to leaves, sparkling like tiny moons. Petals, soft and pale, drift from flowering trees, landing silently on the ground. The flowers have survived storms, fires, and the hands of time. They sway gently, a delicate reminder that life endures in quiet ways. You feel your own spirit moving with the petals, drifting lightly, brushing against the past and the present at once. A bell rings far in the distance, slow and melodic. Its sound is not urgent but tender, rippling through the cool morning air. Each vibration settles into your chest, softening the edges of thought. The bell calls not for action but for presence, for gentle noticing. You sense that the temple itself listens, absorbing the sound and sending it back out, multiplied in calm. You let the sound wrap around you, like a warm blanket on a quiet morning. You step into the inner courtyard, where stones bear carvings of animals, stars, and flowing water. They speak without words, guiding the mind to rest in the simplicity of their forms. Each line in the stone seems alive, breathing with patience. You notice how light and shadow play across them, moving slowly, rhythmically, as if the sun itself moves in harmony with your breathing. The courtyard feels timeless, yet present. It is both memory and promise, teaching the spirit to let go while holding gently. Along the edges of the courtyard, small altars hold remnants of ancient rituals. Bowls of water shimmer, untouched, catching the first light. Ash from past fires rests in quiet mounds, soft and gray. You imagine the hands that once tended these altars, the soft prayers whispered into the smoke, the gentle chants that rose like soft wind over stone. There is no sadness here, only a steady unfolding, a rhythm that assures the heart. All things pass, and yet all things remain. You find a low bench beneath a flowering tree. Sitting, you close your eyes, letting the spirit of the temple sink into your bones. The air moves with the gentle rustle of leaves, the soft hum of life, and you feel a current of stillness, steady and endless. You notice the small movements of the garden, the play of light on stone, the distant shimmer of lanterns. Each detail draws the mind inward into a space where sleep begins to bloom softly, naturally. The spirit of the temple begins to speak in whispers of color and warmth. Golden light streams through open windows, touching your shoulders, your hands, your feet. It flows like water, smoothing the edges of thought, softening the heart. The spirit reminds you of cycles, fire and ash, breaking and rebuilding, endings and beginnings. You feel this cycle move within yourself, as if each breath draws the past into calm, releasing it gently into the present. Slowly the day brightens, but the temple remains a sanctuary of stillness. You drift among corridors lined with carvings, across floors that once knew the rhythm of ritual dance. You feel the presence of those who came before, not as shadows, but as calm currents, brushing past in gentle waves. Each stone, each petal, each flicker of candlelight offers a quiet meditation. You breathe, and the calm deepens. Outside, a soft breeze stirs the air, carrying with it the songs of birds waking in the morning. Their notes are delicate, hesitant, like whispered secrets of the world. You let these sounds move over you, through you, washing the mind in their gentle rhythm. The sun rises slowly, but the temple and its quiet power remain a shelter. You drift in this stillness, carried by wind, light, and memory, knowing that you are safe to rest. As your breath becomes slower, deeper, you notice the gentle movement of shadows across the walls, tracing shapes that seem to tell stories without words. These stories are soft, filled with light and space, free from fear or urgency. You rest within them, floating among the echoes of ritual, the lingering fragrance of incense, the soft touch of dawn. The temple becomes a cocoon of peace, and your spirit is cradled within it. Let us drift onward through quiet corridors beneath archways touched by soft light. The stones hum gently beneath your presence, welcoming the mind to rest. Candlelight flickers once more, a gentle promise that even after acts of destruction, beauty remains. The air, warm and still, carries you slowly towards sleep. Now rest, as the stars return above the distant hills, as petals settle on the silent courtyard, and as the spirit of the temple breathes quietly with you. Let the memory of light, stone, and soft wind guide you deeper into calm, into dreams, into the gentle flow of night. The night has softened into a deep indigo, and the temple courtyard glows with the first flickers of candlelight. You drift along the path, feeling the cool stone beneath your feet, warmed only by the distant embers of sacred fires. A gentle breeze stirs the smoke, carrying faint scents of sandalwood and dried petals. The world is hushed, as though it too waits for the quiet magic of the flames to unfold. Soft circles of fire appear ahead, small altars where rituals once danced with light. Each flame rises slowly, swaying in rhythm with the wind, and you feel the warmth ripple outward, touching your hands, your cheeks, and the space between your thoughts. These fires are not harsh, they are tender. They carry memories, whispers, and the gentle weight of hearts that once offered sorrow and gratitude alike. The smoke curls into the dark, twisting like a ribbon of silver. You watch as it drifts upward, soft and deliberate, carrying tiny fragments of prayer. The smoke wraps around the edges of the temple walls, around the trees, around your shoulders, and you feel a calm settling deep in your chest. Each ember is a star in a quiet constellation, reminding the spirit that even endings can shimmer with grace. You float closer to one of the sacred fires. The flames lick the air softly, dancing without urgency. Petals from earlier offerings lie scattered at the edges of the fire, turning slowly to ash. You imagine the hands that once laid them there and the gentle hopes whispered into the flames. These offerings were not lost, but transformed. They became light, warmth, and quiet lessons for the spirit. Across the courtyard, other fires glow in circles, each holding its own story. Some smoke drifts lazily toward the moonlit sky. Others shimmer with golden sparks that rise and fall like gentle heartbeats. You notice how each flame seems alive, yet calm. They teach the mind that destruction is not the end, but a passage, like leaves falling into a river or petals melting into morning dew. Each spark is a soft reminder that letting go can bring clarity. The air carries a faint rhythm now, the distant sound of drums moving slowly in time with the wind. They do not demand attention, but create a gentle pulse that moves through your body, syncing with the quiet of your breath. You feel the tempo of the earth beneath you, slow and steady, as if the world itself has learned to rest. You float in this rhythm, letting the pulse ease away the tension of the day. Small offerings circle the fires, bowls of water, rings of flowers, and grains of rice laid with care. Each object glows softly in the firelight, catching fragments of flame like tiny lanterns. You sense the devotion that shaped them, the quiet prayers that lifted them above sorrow. The spirit of the temple seems to gather these small gifts, letting their energy drift through stone and air, washing everything in gentle calm. Above you, the stars peek through a thin layer of clouds. They shimmer faintly, distant yet present, like old friends who remember the paths of long journeys. You imagine the flames reaching upward to meet the stars, carrying whispers of human longing and celestial attention alike. The sky and the fire share a dialogue, soft and unhurried, teaching the soul that even in moments of ritual destruction, there is conversation and there is care. You watch as one flame arcs higher, small sparks rising like tiny spirits. They vanish into the night, leaving only the warmth and soft glow behind. You notice how the ashes settle silently, soft gray blankets over the altar stones. Each tiny piece carries a story of transformation, of sorrow released, of gentle letting go. You feel your own thoughts soften in response, each one settling like ash in a cool, calm space. The wind moves again, brushing softly against your skin. It carries the faint fragrance of charred wood and incense, but not in a way that startles. Instead, it hugs the senses, drawing the spirit inward toward stillness. You drift alongside the currents, feeling the fire's warmth and the wind's cool touch at the same time, cradled in a balance that is both delicate and enduring. A monk passes silently by, carrying a small lantern. Its light bobs gently, and you sense the rhythm of care in the movement. Nothing is hurried, nothing is forced. Each step, each gesture is a meditation in itself. You feel your own body mirror this pace, your breath stretching longer, deeper, calmer, as if the temple has invited you to rest completely. The flames flicker, rising and falling, and you notice how their movements resemble the gentle sway of reeds in a river, or the soft sway of clouds across a twilight sky. Each ripple in the fire is a reminder that energy moves, shifts, and changes, but always with a tender, graceful rhythm. Loss becomes not a weight, but a wave, carrying the spirit toward a quieter understanding, a softer peace. The smoke drifts high, curling into shapes that seem familiar, yet ever-changing. Sometimes it forms arcs like bridges, other times it gathers like clouds that shield the world in calm. You feel your mind reflect these shapes, thoughts bending, flowing, softening. There is no hurry to catch anything. You only float with the smoke, letting it carry you gently towards stillness. Small animals, birds, and insects begin to stir in the garden surrounding the fires. Their sounds are delicate, a soft rustle, a gentle chirp, a distant hum. They do not disturb the peace, they enhance it. The rhythm of life continues quietly, reminding the spirit that existence moves forward, even in moments of ritual, loss, or transformation. You feel your own life in this rhythm, steady and safe. The fires burn lower now, their flames stretching tall one last time before settling into warm embers. You watch as the ashes shift in the soft wind, rising slightly, then falling again, as though breathing with the temple itself. The light softens, painting gentle shadows on the stone walls. You feel your body and mind reflecting this softness, settling, sinking into the calm that the temple, the flames, and the night provide. You notice a small offering of water at the edge of a fire, catching the last glimmers of light. Tiny ripples form, reflecting the flames in quiet, dancing patterns. You drift with these reflections, letting your thoughts scatter like sparks into the cool night air. The world narrows to the tender warmth of fire, the gentle rise of smoke, the delicate movement of light on water. Here, there is nothing to do, nothing to chase, nothing to hold. A soft hush descends over the courtyard. The flames, the smoke, the lingering fragrance, all blend into a gentle symphony. You feel the cycle of transformation, giving, releasing, becoming calm. The fires have offered their lesson, not with force, but with grace. And now, their warmth and light rest quietly, guiding the spirit inward. Let us drift onward, carried by the embers and the wind, through the quiet spaces between fire and ash, memory and light. Let each spark, each whisper of smoke, carry the mind toward stillness, toward the gentle folds of sleep. Now rest as the last flames shimmer into embers, as the smoke rises softly toward the moon, and as the spirit of offering settles within you. Let the warmth, the fragrance, and the calm drift through your body, wrapping you in quiet, luminous peace. The temple sits beneath a quiet sky, where stars lean low and silver light drifts like silk across the worn stones. You float along the outer path, the soft earth beneath your feet yielding gently, as though it remembers the steps of those who walked here long ago. The air is cool and fragrant with night blooms, delicate scents rising and falling with the gentle wind. Each breath you take is slow, calm, and full of stillness, carrying you closer to the heart of this sacred place. A bell rests high in the temple tower, its surface smooth with age, its edges kissed by decades of sun and rain. It hangs quietly now, silent, waiting. The faintest breeze stirs it, and you feel a hum in the air, subtle and gentle. It is not a sound yet, but a presence, a promise, a reminder that even in silence there is life, and in stillness there is movement. You drift closer, sensing the weight of its memory, the stories of soft tolls that once rang across courtyards and gardens. The temple stones beneath your hands carry traces of ritual, etched with prayers, softened by time. You feel their warmth, not in heat but in memory, as if each stone breathes alongside you. Here, the aftermath of conflict lingers like a quiet fog, not heavy but gentle, reminding the spirit that even brokenness can hold beauty. The bell seems to listen to this calm, waiting for the moment to share its tender voice. From far away, a soft wind shifts, brushing across the trees that line the path. Their leaves whisper to each other, and to you, soft rustlings like a lullaby. You notice the way shadows bend over the stones, moving in slow, meditative waves. Every curve of light and dark carries the gentle echo of forgiveness, a slow rhythm that soothes the mind and settles the heart. You let your thoughts drift with the wind, loose and weightless, like petals carried across a quiet pond. The bell moves ever so slightly, and a sound begins to form. It is faint at first, like a single drop of water falling into stillness. Then it grows, soft and round, vibrating through the stone and air alike. You feel it in your chest, a gentle resonance that travels through the body and into the spirit. Each toll is a heartbeat, steady and patient, calling not for attention but for calm reflection. You float with it, matching your breath to its rhythm, inhaling as it rises, exhaling as it fades. Beneath the bell, the temple courtyard stretches wide and silent. Cracked tiles, smoothed by centuries, lie like quiet witnesses to the passage of time. Small offerings remain in their places, flowers, bowls of water, tiny candles that flicker with their own soft light. The bell's voice drifts over these objects, and you imagine each toll carrying forgiveness, letting sorrow lift and dissolve. The sound moves like water over stones, flowing gently through the garden, filling every shadow with light and peace. You drift past the stone steps, your fingers brushing the edges that have been touched by countless hands. Each groove seems to hum with the memory of prayers, soft as whispers, delicate as the wings of a resting bird. The bell carries these echoes, amplifying their quiet power, reminding the spirit that all things are remembered, all acts are honored, and all hearts are known. You let this memory settle softly within you, like a gentle current moving through calm waters. Above, the night sky stretches endless, a velvet canopy punctuated by stars. Some shine faintly, as if recalling old lessons, old rituals. You imagine the bell's sound rising to meet them, each vibration a gentle thread connecting earth and sky. The spirit of the temple seems to expand with the sound, flowing outward to touch the trees, the water, the distant hills. You drift within this connection, a quiet passenger on the soft wave of ringing and reflection. A soft breeze brushes past again, carrying scents of jasmine and damp earth. You feel your body respond, relaxing further, melting into the calm that the bell, the stones, and the night provide. Shadows move gently over the temple walls, stretching and bending like slow dancers. Each movement is quiet and deliberate, not hurried, not urgent. You follow them with your gaze and your spirit, letting the rhythms of the courtyard and the bell merge with your own breath. Small creatures begin their evening routines. A bird rustles in the branches, an insect hums in a distant bush. Their presence is soft, gentle, part of the same quiet rhythm. The bell tolls again, each sound carrying a trace of the life it observes, the life it remembers. You feel your own thoughts float like these small creatures, light and untroubled, carried by the soft vibrations into spaces of calm. In the inner courtyard, the light of a single candle flickers in a small alcove. Its glow reaches the edges of the stone, casting soft, dancing shadows. You sense the bell's toll wrapping around the candlelight, filling the space between shadow and stone with a gentle warmth. It moves slowly, reverently, reminding the spirit that even the smallest lights hold strength, and even the quietest moments carry meaning. The bell tolls again, each note lingering, stretching across time and space. You feel it in your arms, your shoulders, your heart, a slow, even pulse. You notice the way it settles into silence afterward, leaving a soft echo that drifts through the air like a lingering fragrance. You let this echo fill the spaces of your mind, smoothing edges, softening thoughts, making room for rest. Across the courtyard, petals from offerings stir gently in the wind. They rise, swirl, and fall in slow arcs carried by the bell's vibrations. You drift alongside them, feeling the effortless grace of their motion. The petals are reminders that even when things break, even when rituals mark endings, beauty and calm can rise from the quiet. You follow their gentle descent, floating with the rhythm of sound and air. The temple walls seem to breathe with the tolls of the bell, expanding and contracting like a living heartbeat. You feel your own body mirror this rhythm, inhaling as the bell rises, exhaling as it fades. Each breath becomes slower, deeper, calmer. The courtyard, the night, the bell, and you are one soft current, moving through time and memory in gentle harmony. The final toll of the evening carries long and low. Its sound spreads through the stone, the trees, and the still air, vibrating softly in your chest. It settles like ash from a quiet fire, leaving only warmth and calm. The light in the candle flickers one last time, shadows resting against the walls. You drift with this calm, feeling it wrap around the mind, the body, the spirit. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle sound of the bell, through the quiet spaces of memory, reflection, and forgiveness. Let each toll guide the mind toward stillness, toward the soft folds of sleep, toward the calm embrace of night. Now rest, as the bell rests in its tower, as the stones absorb the final echo, and as the spirit of the temple settles softly within you. Let the air, the light, and the sound carry you into peaceful dreams, into gentle slumber, into the quiet heart of night. The moon hangs low above the horizon, casting silver ribbons across still waters. You drift along a quiet riverbank, where stones are smooth and worn from centuries of gentle currents. Soft winds ripple the surface, carrying faint scents of moss and wildflowers. Each breath you take is slow, a quiet inhale of night air, a gentle exhale that releases the weight of the day. The river hums softly, a lullaby of water moving endlessly, patiently, and you float with its rhythm. Along the edge, the river widens, reflecting stars as if they had fallen into its arms. Tiny ripples dance across the surface like whispers of memory. You notice the way light bends over the water, softening the edges of shadowed banks. Here, the spirit of the river feels alive, carrying traces of the past, washing them gently downstream. Even the stones, once scattered by storms and human hands, lie settled, smooth, and calm, reminding you that time itself can heal. Small offerings float on the water, petals and leaves drifting slowly. Each one holds a prayer, a hope, a quiet memory of what has been lost. You watch them glide, spinning softly in the current. They remind you that loss is not an ending, but a journey. The river takes these fragments, allowing them to travel gently, transforming sorrow into something lighter, something luminous. You breathe with the current, letting it carry your own quiet thoughts along its path. Across the river, ancient trees lean over the water, their roots soft and dark in the cool soil. Their branches brush the surface, sending ripples outward, a tender disturbance that settles into calm. Birds rest quietly in the leaves, their feathers catching moonlight, their soft calls blending with the gentle rush of water. You feel the rhythm of life here, steady and patient, teaching that even after disruption there is balance, and even in stillness there is motion. You drift closer to a small stone shrine, half hidden among reeds. Water laps gently against its base, sending tiny waves along the riverbank. Candles float nearby, their flames steady small golden suns resting upon the moving water. The shrine seems to hold the memory of countless rituals, whispers of grief transformed into grace. Each candle's glow reflects softly on the water, mingling with stars and ripples, forming a luminous path that stretches far beyond sight. Soft chants rise from the other side of the river, barely audible like the memory of a dream. The words are slow, drawn out, carrying comfort and quiet reflection. You let the sound move through you, vibrating softly in the chest, easing tension with each breath. The chants intertwine with the gentle motion of the river, weaving a tapestry of remembrance, of release, of quiet understanding. You float within this tapestry, carried by its gentle current, weightless and safe. The river curves, bending through meadows and hills, soft green banks resting along its path. Small fish glide beneath the surface, invisible until they break the light, shimmering briefly like silver memories. You watch them move effortlessly, carried by the flow, and feel your own spirit shift with the water. Each movement reminds you that letting go is not the same as losing, that surrender can be tender, and that passage itself is a kind of gift. Along the edges, petals and flowers, offerings from earlier ceremonies, settle into the soft soil or drift downstream. Each carries the trace of human touch, of prayers whispered into the night, of sorrow released and hope held gently. You imagine the hands that placed them there, the hearts that breathed their intentions into the petals, and the quiet way the river takes them, letting their essence linger in the water's motion. The act feels sacred, simple, eternal. The moonlight bends along the river's curves, illuminating small ripples and deeper pools alike. You notice the reflections of trees and stars mingling in the gentle waves. Each reflection seems like a story folded into the water, a memory kept alive in light and shadow. You float among these stories, feeling the calm of centuries moving softly beneath your thoughts. There is no rush. There is only the tender flow of water, time, and quiet remembrance. A soft mist rises from the river, wrapping the banks in silver. It clings to your skin, to your hair, brushing lightly, carrying the fragrance of wet leaves and earth. The mist moves slowly, like a gentle breath, washing away tension, dissolving worry. Each inhalation brings calm. Each exhalation releases the mind's hold on what has been lost. The river and mist work together, a quiet meditation of water and air, guiding the spirit to softness, to rest. Across the water, lanterns appear on small rafts, floating serenely with the current. Their soft glow is steady, casting gentle light over rippling water. You imagine the lanterns as vessels of memory, each carrying a silent wish, a gentle prayer, or the soft echo of grief. They drift without haste, turning slowly with the motion of the river, and you drift alongside them, weightless, allowing your thoughts to settle and merge with the calm flow of water. Soft frogs call in the distance, their voices low and steady, blending with the gentle rush of the river. The night air carries these sounds to your ears, filling the quiet spaces between breath and thought. You feel the pulse of life moving quietly, unseen yet present, teaching patience and stillness. The river absorbs these sounds as well, folding them into its own song, creating a gentle lullaby that cradles the spirit. The currents twist and turn around small rocks, sending tiny waves across the surface. Each ripple catches the moonlight for a brief moment, sparkling like a memory lifted for a heartbeat before returning to calm. You feel yourself moving with these waves, floating over and under them, feeling the gentle push and pull of water beneath the skin of your mind. There is a sense of motion, of passage, without urgency, soft, deliberate, and healing. The river narrows as it approaches a small waterfall. Water falls over smooth stones, breaking lightly, sending mist and a soft spray into the air. You notice the sound is not harsh but melodic, a soft tapping, a gentle rhythm. Each drop seems to carry the weight of memory, releasing it into the pool below. You let your mind settle with the water, feeling the cool, soft vibrations wash through your chest and shoulders, softening the edges of thought. The river bends once more, carrying you past flowering banks, reeds, and quiet stones. The water reflects the sky, the trees, and the soft glow of lanterns from distant shrines. You float in the calm of it all, carried by the gentle current, feeling the memory of loss and the warmth of remembrance flow together. The river moves without haste, teaching the spirit to release, to surrender, and to find quiet joy in the rhythm of life. Let us drift onward, guided by the motion of water, the glow of lanterns, and the silver touch of moonlight on gentle currents. Let each ripple, each wave, each floating petal carry the mind toward stillness, toward the quiet folds of sleep. Now rest, as the river settles into calm pools, as the stars reflect softly upon its surface, and as the spirit of remembrance flows gently through you. Let the water, the mist, and the quiet movement cradle you into peaceful dreams and gentle slumber. The desert stretches wide beneath the quiet stars, a sea of sand softened by the pale silver light of moon. You float along its gentle dunes, feeling each grain shift underfoot, warm yet tender. The air is still, carrying only the soft sighs of wind brushing against distant rocks and hidden oases. Each breath draws in calm, each exhale releases the mind's burdens. Here, even emptiness feels full, alive with subtle movement, soft and unhurried. Across the dunes, tiny points of light flicker like fireflies. Candles, small and steady, mark the spaces where rituals have taken place. Their flames rise gently, bending with the desert wind, soft as whispers. You float closer, noticing how each candle seems to hold a story, a trace of devotion, a flicker of hope in the open vastness. The wind moves around them, never extinguishing, only dancing, carrying warmth and light across the sand. The scent of burning wax mingles with the cool desert air, subtle and sweet, like the memory of flowers in a faraway garden. You watch as shadows stretch and bend behind each candle, long and gentle across the dunes. The movement is slow, deliberate, a quiet rhythm that matches your own breathing. Each flicker reflects the cycle of loss and renewal, of endings and soft beginnings, guiding the spirit to rest in the balance of night. Small cairns of stone lie near the candles, markers of past offerings, small acts of remembrance. You drift among them, feeling the care that shaped each pile, the hands that placed each stone. Even in moments of destruction and rituals meant to release sorrow, the act is tender. Stones, sand, and candlelight hold the memory of grief and hope, folding them into a quiet meditation for the spirit. You let your thoughts rest alongside them, soft as desert sand beneath your fingertips. The wind rises gently, brushing against your face, carrying the faint hum of distant drums. The rhythm is slow, like the heartbeat of the earth itself, steady and unhurried. You feel the pulse in your chest, soft and warm, each beat drawing you deeper into calm. The candles sway in time with the wind, their flames bending and rising, dancing without hurry, creating a quiet symphony of light and air. You float among them, weightless and safe, carried by their gentle glow. Along a narrow path, the desert opens to a small valley where a circle of candles burns on flat stones. You drift closer and notice how their flames form soft reflections in a shallow pool of water, rare and luminous in this dry land. Each flame flickers with life, carrying whispers of ritual, traces of grief, and sparks of renewal. You breathe with the rhythm of the lights, feeling the calm that comes when memory and movement meet in quiet harmony. Small animals stir at the edges of the dunes. A lizard scurries across smooth sand. A bird calls softly from a distant perch. Their presence is quiet, part of the same gentle rhythm, teaching the spirit that life continues softly, even in places that seem barren. You notice how the desert itself seems to watch, patient and still, absorbing the rituals, the candles, the wind, and turning them into calm. You drift with the movement, letting your thoughts follow the slow, steady patterns of life here. The largest candle stands in the center of the circle, its flame bright but gentle. You imagine the hands that lit it, the heart that offered it. The flame reaches upward, small sparks carried away by the wind, disappearing into the night sky. Each spark seems to carry sorrow lifted from the earth, transformed into light and motion. You feel your own spirit lifted with it, lighter, softer, following the rise and fall of candlelight and shadow. Around you, smaller flames ripple in response to the desert wind. You notice the patterns they form, soft, circular, unhurried. They mirror the cycles of life, of giving and letting go, of holding and releasing. You float through these patterns, letting your own thoughts mirror the gentle dance of flame and air. Each flicker guides your mind toward stillness, toward quiet acceptance, toward the soft embrace of night. The air carries the warmth of candlelight, mingling with the cool of the desert breeze. You feel your body relax further, each muscle softening, each heartbeat slowing to match the rhythm of wind and flame. The dunes roll gently around you, and the shadows of stone and candlelight stretch like slow waves across the sand. The rhythm is steady, calm, unbroken. You drift within it, weightless, soothed, cradled by the quiet desert. Across the valley, more candles shine on distant ridges. Their light twinkles like stars fallen upon the dunes. You notice how the wind moves across them, soft and protective, never hurried. Each flame stands as a quiet witness to the rituals of the past, each offering held carefully, transforming grief into gentle illumination. You float among these lights, feeling the calm of the desert expand into the spaces of your own mind. The night moves slowly, and a thin layer of mist rises from a hidden spring nearby. It curls around the candles, softening their light, mingling warmth and cool, motion and stillness. You watch as the reflections in the mist shimmer, forming shapes like distant memories, soft and fleeting. The desert seems alive with quiet movement, teaching the spirit that even barren spaces can hold life. Even endings can become gentle beginnings. You breathe with the rhythm of wind and mist, letting your thoughts drift, weightless and serene. Soft footsteps pass nearby, careful and reverent. A traveler moves among the candles, leaving small offerings of flowers and grains of sand. The act is quiet, deliberate, respectful. You notice how each gesture seems to ripple through the desert, touching the wind, the dunes, the still water. The desert absorbs the care, the light, the tenderness, and you drift alongside it, feeling your own spirit calmed by this harmony of motion and stillness. The central candle flickers one last time before settling into a steady glow. Its flame spreads warmth softly through the air, touching distant dunes, cairns, and pools of water alike. The wind carries the warmth gently across the valley, and you feel it press against your shoulders, your chest, your mind. Each breath you take matches the calm rhythm of flame, air, and sand. You drift with the desert, with its gentle lessons, its quiet beauty, its tender light. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle motion of wind, the soft flicker of candlelight, and the calm rhythm of sand and shadow. Let each light, each breath, each whisper of the desert guide the mind toward stillness, toward gentle reflection, toward quiet dreams. Now rest as the candles glow softly in the night, as the wind folds gently over the dunes, and as the spirit of the desert cradles you in calm. Let the warmth, the silence, and the tender light carry you into peaceful dreams and soft, deep sleep. The night settles softly over the quiet courtyard of an ancient library. You float along stone corridors, where the air is cool and faintly scented with parchment and incense. Moonlight filters through high windows, scattering across worn floors in silver patterns. Each step is gentle, soft against the centuries of dust, each breath a quiet invitation to calm. Here, the world seems slower, measured by the rhythm of shadow and light. Shelves rise like gentle hills, carrying scrolls and manuscripts whose edges are curled with age. Some are worn, softened by hands long gone, others charred at the corners, reminders of flames that once danced too close. Yet even in their quiet decay, they hold wisdom. Letters faded into gentle whispers, words that speak softly, patiently, carrying lessons of endurance and the strength of spirit. You drift along the roads, sensing the quiet pulse of their knowledge. A single scroll lies upon a stone table, its edges darkened, but its writing clear enough to trace with a finger. You imagine the care it once received, the hands that wrote it with reverent attention, the minds that absorbed its teachings. Each line seems to hum faintly in the silence, a whisper that speaks not to the mind but to the heart. You let your awareness rest here, letting each letter, each curve, each soft imprint soothe and guide you. Outside, the wind brushes gently through open shutters, carrying scents of night-blooming flowers and distant trees. The soft rustle mingles with the faint sound of turning pages, almost imperceptible like a lullaby. The manuscripts respond to the air, stirring lightly as if breathing. You notice the tender way shadows stretch across the scrolls, tracing the words in gentle arcs. Even in loss, even in the face of fire and decay, knowledge persists. You feel its quiet persistence echo softly within you. Some scrolls are partially burned, edges curled to soft blackened tips. You imagine the moments of fire, the bright heat fading to gentle ash, yet the essence of the writings remains. You sense how each letter, each phrase survived through care, through reverence, through the patience of those who preserved them. The lesson is quiet but deep. Wisdom can endure even when the world changes, even when the forms around it fade. You float with this thought, letting it settle into the calm of your mind. A lantern flickers nearby, casting warm light across parchment and wood. The glow touches the pages softly, illuminating symbols and letters like stars scattered across a gentle night sky. You notice how the light bends over each scroll, highlighting fragments of text, drawing attention to hidden patterns. The flame's quiet dance seems to mimic the slow, patient unfolding of understanding. You drift along with the glow, letting it wash over the mind and spirit alike. A faint sound drifts from the outer halls, a single bell, slow and steady. Its tone resonates through the quiet corridor, passing over shelves and stone, mingling with the whisper of pages. The sound carries a sense of reflection, of stillness, of remembrance. Each toll reminds you that even the softest vibrations leave marks, just as the faintest letters on fragile scrolls carry lasting wisdom. You let the tone flow through your body, settling tension and quieting thought. You reach a table where scattered fragments of scrolls lie, delicate and fragile. Some edges crumble at the touch of wind, yet the shapes of words remain, faint impressions that speak of patience, endurance, and quiet learning. You imagine the hands that preserved these pieces, the reverent care that carried them through storms and fire. The spirit of these fragments moves slowly, softly, like a gentle current beneath the mind, guiding thought into stillness. Through high windows, the moon glides across the room, casting long, soft shadows over shelves and tables. The interplay of light and darkness seems to mirror the lessons within the scrolls, that even in shadow, meaning persists and that patience allows wisdom to endure. You drift among these patterns, letting each gentle curve of shadow, each soft glow of moonlight, cradle your mind and spirit. In a corner, a small fire pit rests cold and quiet, its ash soft as powdered stone. You notice remnants of past rituals, where scrolls and offerings were burned in reverent ceremony. Even in the fire, the essence of learning did not vanish. Instead, the ashes carry a memory, a quiet lesson, a bridge between loss and renewal. You float with this thought, feeling the soft embrace of endurance, the calm power of transformation that does not hurry but persists. The wind stirs again, gently brushing across the scrolls and tables, moving pages slightly, sending loose fragments drifting in soft arcs. You follow the motion with your mind, tracing the delicate movement as though reading a silent story. Each drift is gentle, deliberate, unhurried. You notice how even broken or incomplete pieces carry quiet truths, and how patience allows understanding to emerge in its own time. Outside, the stars shine bright and steady, reflecting on polished surfaces and broken fragments alike. You sense a connection between the enduring sky and the enduring words of the scrolls. Both are patient, quiet, and unwavering, offering light and guidance in subtle, gentle ways. You drift in this realization, feeling your own thoughts soften, settling like gentle dust over stone and parchment, carried by the calm rhythm of night. A soft chant rises from the courtyard below, low and steady, mingling with the sigh of the wind and the gentle flicker of lanterns. The chant moves like water, brushing over the manuscripts, brushing over you, smoothing the edges of thought and worry. You drift within its cadence, carried by its gentle vibration, letting the wisdom of the scrolls, the rhythm of the chant, and the soft light of lanterns fill the mind with calm. You notice small details: the curve of an inked letter, the faint texture of parchment fibers, the soft impression left by careful hands centuries ago. Each holds quiet beauty, teaching the spirit to notice gently, to absorb softly, and to move slowly. Even in fragments, in ash and silence, there is richness, depth, and tender guidance. You float along, letting each small observation carry you deeper into calm and rest. The lantern flickers one last time before settling into steady glow, shadows curling softly against the walls. The moon moves higher, casting silver paths across tables and shelves. You feel the enduring presence of wisdom, quiet and patient, wrapping around your mind and heart like a soft cloak. Each breath matches this rhythm, slow and gentle, echoing the lessons of endurance, calm, and reflection. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft glow of lanterns, the gentle hum of moonlight on parchment, and the enduring whispers of ancient scrolls. Let each word, each fragment, each trace of ash guide the mind into stillness, into patient reflection, into soft, restful sleep. Now rest as the manuscripts settle, as the wind moves softly through the corridors, and as the spirit of enduring wisdom flows gently through you. Let the calm, the patience, and the gentle light carry you into peaceful dreams and the quiet embrace of night. The morning is soft over the valley of temples. You drift along quiet paths lined with stone, where the light of dawn brushes gently against broken statues. Each idol rests in silence, worn or fractured, some missing hands or faces, yet all hold the trace of devotion once given. The air is still, carrying faint scents of incense and warm earth, blending with the distant whisper of flowing water. Each breath you take slows, settling the mind, inviting calm. You notice a statue, its features softened by age and the marks of ritual. A crack runs along its arm, delicate as a river in stone, yet the form still carries presence. The sunlight bends gently over its surface, highlighting the curves of the body, the subtle expression of the face. You drift close, allowing your eyes to rest on these details, letting the quiet beauty of imperfection soothe your thoughts. Even in pieces, there is a gentle dignity. Across the courtyard, smaller idols lie scattered, some turned toward the ground, others propped against low walls. Their fractured forms seem heavy with memory, carrying centuries of care, worship, and ritual. You float among them, sensing the quiet hum of devotion that lingers, the soft echo of hands pressed in prayer. These remnants do not demand awe, they invite reflection, a gentle turning inward, a space to notice the movement of the spirit. Soft winds ripple through the garden, brushing leaves and petals over stone floors. You hear the faint chime of a distant bell, slow and tender, each sound stretching across the quiet morning. The bell vibrates softly, carrying forgiveness and calm across the broken idols. You let the sound flow through you, feeling it loosen tension in your shoulders, softening the edges of thought and preparing the mind for reflection. The largest statue stands slightly apart, its head bowed as if in quiet humility. Cracks run across its chest and arms, worn by both time and ritual. You imagine the ceremonies that once gathered around it, hands lifted, voices raised in devotion, and the slow moments when offerings were laid at its base. Even as it stands broken, it radiates stillness. You float closer, letting the calm form of the idol guide you to quiet introspection. Petals drift across the stone floors, carried by the soft wind. Each one lands gently near a shattered piece, a quiet offering that has survived the morning. You notice how the fragments of stone and petals together create a sense of rhythm, a meditation on presence and absence, on loss and reverence. The garden teaches that beauty and meaning can exist even in brokenness, that the spirit can find light in spaces left open. A candle burns near the base of one fractured statue, its small flame bending softly with the wind. You drift closer and watch how the glow wraps around jagged edges, turning them tender. Shadows stretch long across the stone floor, folding over the cracks like gentle blankets. You realize that even the fractured forms carry guidance, whispering patience, humility, and the quiet reshaping of thought. Each flicker is a reminder that light persists, even in spaces once defined by conflict. Nearby, a small pool reflects the sky and the shattered forms around it. The water moves softly, catching fragments of sunlight and candlelight, turning them into gentle ripples. You float above its surface, watching as broken statues are mirrored and transformed by the still water. The reflection teaches that perception can soften edges, that what appears fractured can hold quiet beauty when seen with gentle attention. You let this lesson sink slowly into the mind. Birds settle in the trees above, their soft calls rising and falling in the morning air. Their wings brush against branches, sending faint rustles across the courtyard. You notice how the sound weaves with the movement of wind and light, the ripple of water and the quiet presence of stone. Even among the broken idols, life persists, gentle and unhurried. You float with this rhythm, allowing it to carry calm into the mind and body. The ground itself seems to breathe beneath the stones, a gentle rhythm that matches the pulse of the morning. You notice small offerings of sand and flower petals near each idol, soft patterns created by hands long gone. Each pattern is quiet, deliberate, and tender, reflecting reverence without need for grandeur. You drift through them, feeling how small gestures carry lasting care, teaching patience and the subtle power of mindful attention. Across the courtyard, a small shrine holds fragments of a once great idol. Its pieces are arranged carefully, each in a place that honors its shape and past. You notice how the shards, though broken, form a gentle rhythm together, a quiet harmony of stone and shadow. Each piece seems to hold space for thought, meditation, and gentle reflection. You float closer, letting your attention settle softly on this arrangement, feeling the calm wash over the mind like a slow river. Soft light falls across the scene, stretching long shadows over stone floors and petals. The cracks in the idols glow tenderly, edges softened by sunlight and shadow. You feel the calm of endurance, the quiet persistence of wisdom, the gentle shaping of thought. Even in destruction, there is a subtle beauty, a quiet lesson in letting go, in patience, and in noticing what remains. A small flame flickers near another broken statue, casting moving shadows over fragments of stone and petals. The flame bends gently with the soft wind, never faltering, always present. You drift closer and notice how its glow transforms jagged edges into patterns of light and shadow, teaching that even broken forms can radiate warmth and calm. You breathe slowly, matching the rhythm of the flame, letting the mind relax into the gentle movement of light. The wind rises and falls, brushing softly across statues, petals, and water. You feel your spirit move with it, weightless, drifting among shadows and light. Even as the idols remain fractured, their presence is calming, a meditation on endurance, humility, and the quiet reshaping of belief. You notice how broken forms invite reflection, how empty spaces create room for gentle thought, and how soft light can bring warmth to fragments. A bell rings again, low and slow, its sound traveling across the courtyard. You feel its vibration in your chest, a subtle pulse that eases the mind, softens tension, and guides the spirit toward reflection. The fractured idols respond to its sound, as if acknowledging the passage of time, the patience of those who came before, and the enduring quiet of devotion. You float with the sound, letting it carry you deeper into stillness. Petals drift slowly across the ground, settling gently near cracks in stone. Each one seems like a soft sigh, a quiet act of remembrance, a gentle touch on the edges of brokenness. You watch them move, drifting, turning, and finally resting in calm. The slow rhythm of their journey mirrors the spirit's own path, teaching that patience, gentle attention, and quiet reflection can transform the mind. Let us drift onward, carried by soft wind, flickering flame, and the quiet presence of fractured stone. Let each crack, each fragment, each small flicker of light guide the mind into stillness, reflection, and the gentle reshaping of thought. Now rest, as the shattered idols lie in quiet dignity, as the wind moves softly over petals and stone, and as the spirit of reflection flows gently through you. Let the calm, the gentle light, and the enduring presence of ancient devotion carry you into peaceful dreams and soft, deep sleep. The night is soft and cool, carrying the gentle silver of a full moon across quiet fields. You float along winding paths, where the air holds the faint scent of jasmine and burning sage. Shadows stretch slowly over stone walls and soft grass, moving with the tender rhythm of the wind. Each breath you take is long and calm, carrying the weight of the day away, leaving space for stillness. Along the path, small lanterns glow softly, lining the way like a river of light. Their flames flicker gently, casting playful shadows on the faces of those who walk quietly toward a gathering place. You drift among the lanterns, feeling the warmth of their glow brush softly against your mind. The light moves slowly, like a gentle wave, and you let it carry you into calm. In a courtyard surrounded by trees and low stone walls, communities have gathered. Their voices are soft, muted, blending with the rustle of leaves and the distant hum of night insects. Everyone moves gently, hands lifted or clasped, offering quiet gestures of peace. You drift closer, feeling the sense of shared presence, the gentle rhythm of collective attention. Even without words, there is understanding, a quiet acknowledgement of shared pasts and the wish for gentle healing. A circle forms around a small fire, its soft flames casting golden light across the faces of those present. You notice how each person moves slowly, carefully, mindful of the space and of each other. The fire's glow illuminates the edges of stone steps and the soft folds of cloth, reflecting in eyes filled with calm attention. You float among them, letting the warmth of the fire settle your thoughts and carry them into ease. Ritual objects rest near the fire, bowls of water, small candles, delicate petals, and incense that curls upward like slow spirals of smoke. Each item is chosen with care, representing openness, forgiveness, and the gentle rebuilding of trust. You imagine hands lifting petals and placing them on the ground, letting the fragrance and softness guide intention. The smoke from the incense drifts lazily, brushing against faces and lanterns, a quiet bridge between past sorrow and present calm. Soft music rises from the circle, low chants and flutes blending with the wind through the trees. Each note moves slowly like a river, carrying sound across the night. You feel it wrap around you, loosening tension in the shoulders, softening the mind, and letting the spirit float gently. The melody does not hurry or insist, it simply flows, echoing the quiet patience of those gathered, the calm of the moon above, and the enduring softness of night. In the center of the circle, water is poured into a small basin, rippling softly under the lantern light. Each drop is a gentle gesture, a symbol of release, of sorrow flowing away and of shared care returning. You notice how the water catches the moonlight, reflecting silver threads across the ground and into the hearts of those present. The ripple of the liquid mirrors the ripple of calm moving through the mind, a gentle, unhurried current that carries peace. Hands are joined slowly, one by one, forming delicate connections that honor presence and attention. You float among these gestures, noticing the quiet hum of care and the soft vibration of understanding. Each clasp is a reminder that reconciliation is not hurried. It grows like soft moss across stone, filling cracks with gentle patience, weaving warmth into spaces once hollowed by conflict. Petals are scattered across the earth, landing lightly near feet and lanterns, each one a quiet offering. You drift above the scattering petals, watching how they move with the breeze, swirling softly before settling. Each petal represents remembrance, respect, and the tender act of letting go. You feel your own thoughts move like these petals, drifting slowly, turning gently, finally resting in calm. The moon arcs across the sky, casting silver patterns over the courtyard. Light touches faces, stones, and rippling water, folding shadow and glow together. You notice how even in quiet reflection, there is warmth and subtle celebration. The soft acknowledgement of what has been, the gentle presence of what is, and the hope carried in still hearts for what may come. You float within this balance, letting the mind rest in gentle awareness. Soft bells chime across the space, one slow note after another. Each sound lingers, vibrating faintly through stone, water, and air. You feel the resonance in your chest and head, a slow pulse that calms thought and eases tension. The bells mark moments of awareness, not urgency. You drift with their tone, letting each chime carry a sense of patience, humility, and gentle understanding. A small fire at the center flickers in time with the wind, its light blending with lantern glow and moonlight. You notice the way shadows move together, folding over faces, petals, and water. The rhythm is soft and unhurried, teaching that healing moves like this slowly, quietly, without force. You float along with the movement, letting your spirit relax into the gentle cadence of reconciliation. Eyes closed naturally, carried by the soft blend of night, flame, and murmured voices. You hear whispers of forgiveness and soft acknowledgement passing from person to person, a rhythm of care that fills the courtyard. The air itself feels lighter, a gentle embrace of shared intention, reminding you that even the smallest gestures hold deep significance. You drift with this awareness, letting it settle into the mind. The sound of water rippling and soft incense smoke curling continues, mingling with faint footfalls and rustling fabric. You feel the collective heart of the gathering, steady and patient, moving slowly toward calm. Each element, fire, water, light, sound, becomes a gentle anchor for your own breathing, letting the mind float in the softness of the night. Lanterns sway with the wind, casting fleeting patterns of light and shadow across faces and petals. You follow the gentle motion, tracing the arcs with quiet attention. Each sway is a quiet teaching, impermanence, patience, and calm in motion. Even as things shift, even as shadows fall and rise, stillness can exist, carried on the soft wings of awareness. The final ritual comes slowly. Hands release each other, the circle opening like petals at dusk, allowing space for reflection and inward calm. Soft nods and quiet smiles pass between faces, a gentle acknowledgement of shared presence and understanding. You float among them, letting the feeling of peace settle within, filling every corner of the mind with gentle warmth. Let us drift onward, carried by the silver moon, the flicker of lanterns, and the quiet rhythm of gentle voices. Let the calm, the patience, and the soft understanding of reconciliation move through you, softening thought, releasing tension, and cradling the spirit in ease. Now rest, as the moon sails across the quiet sky, as lanterns settle into still light, and as the collective memory of peace flows gently through you. Let the calm and soft rhythm of healing carry you into dreams, into deep, quiet sleep, where the spirit is gentle and at peace. The morning rises slowly over the quiet remains of sacred temples. You drift along stone paths softened by moss and scattered petals, each one delicate and luminous under the first light. The air carries a faint fragrance of flowers, damp earth, and lingering incense. Soft winds move across the ruins, lifting petals into gentle spirals that float like whispers above the stones. Each breath you take deepens the calm, carrying you further into stillness. Among the broken columns and fallen statues, petals have gathered, painting the ground with quiet beauty. You notice how they rest along the cracks, some caught in crevices, others drifting lazily over flat stones. The petals seem to linger where devotion once touched the earth, softening the memory of absence with their delicate presence. You float closer, letting their gentle colors and shapes draw your mind into quiet observation, a soft meditation on resilience and grace. The ruins hold echoes of the past, rituals, chants, and prayers that have long since faded. But here, in the gentle morning, they seem to breathe softly with the wind. Each fallen arch and cracked column carries a story, not of sorrow, but of quiet endurance. You drift among them, noticing the way sunlight bends over stone, casting soft shadows across petals and walls, creating a gentle dance of light that soothes the mind and eases the heart. Small pools of water have collected among the stones, reflecting fragments of sky and scattered petals. You watch the reflection ripple with the movement of the wind, turning every color, shape, and shadow into a slow, gentle flow. The water seems to carry whispers of remembrance, tracing every curve of stone and petal with quiet reverence. You float alongside the pools, letting your attention rest on their surface, feeling your thoughts become as still and clear as the mirrored sky. Birds have begun their morning songs, soft and melodious, weaving through the columns and fallen arches. Their notes rise and fall in gentle arcs, blending with the rustle of petals and the quiet lap of water. You drift with the sounds, letting each note brush against your mind like soft feathers, loosening tension and carrying you toward calm reflection. Even among ruins, life persists, patient and unhurried, teaching that beauty is always present, even in places shaped by loss. Along a narrow path, candles flicker in small holders left as offerings. Their light bends over petals and stone, softening jagged edges and fractured shapes. You float closer to watch, noticing the way each flame sways with the wind, its warmth wrapping gently around the ruins. The glow creates pockets of serenity, reminding you that even amidst remnants of destruction, care and attention can transform spaces into places of calm and reflection. Scattered petals drift above the stone floors, lifted by the wind like gentle dancers. Some fall slowly, landing near fragments of carved walls, while others settle atop shallow pools of water, reflecting sunlight and flame together. Each petal seems to carry a memory, a quiet act of devotion that survived the passage of time. You drift among them, feeling the delicate rhythm of their journey, allowing your mind to move with the petals, turning gently and settling softly in stillness. Near the edge of the ruins, a small altar rests, its surface weathered but intact. Bowls of water, incense, and petals lie upon it, simple and unadorned. You float closer and see the patterns made by hands long gone, the soft arrangements of petals tracing gentle spirals and lines of care. The altar seems to hum with quiet intention, a reminder that even small gestures can create lasting spaces of peace. You let the calm of this presence seep into your mind, softening thought and easing the spirit. A gentle wind moves through the columns and low walls, carrying petals along its path. Each movement is unhurried, curling around fallen stone and flickering candlelight. You follow the patterns, noticing how even in decay, there is a rhythm, a quiet flow of presence and remembrance. The ruins, the petals, the water, and the wind together create a soft meditation, a lesson in patience, grace, and the subtle endurance of beauty. The sun rises higher, spilling warmth across the open spaces. Shadows lengthen and fold over the petals, stones, and scattered remnants of sacred structures. You notice how light and shadow play together, transforming the ruins into a tapestry of calm. Each flicker of sunlight across a petal or carved edge becomes a gentle touch, guiding the mind into slow, unhurried awareness. You float with the rhythm of the day, letting each moment carry the mind deeper into softness. Soft bells chime from a distant temple, their tones long and slow, vibrating through the stones and petals. Each note seems to linger, touching every surface and drifting over water and flowers. You float with the sound, letting it fill your chest and mind with gentle warmth. The bells carry a message of patience and reflection, teaching that even when spaces appear broken, harmony can persist, subtle and enduring. The petals continue to drift in the wind, mingling with the soft light and shadow, forming quiet patterns that invite reflection. You notice how they accumulate around small statues, fallen arches, and pools of water, creating gentle points of focus for meditation. Each one seems to carry both sorrow and hope, teaching the mind that remembrance and beauty can coexist, that loss can transform into a tender, lingering peace. A small stream runs along the edge of the ruins, carrying petals slowly along its course. You follow its flow, feeling the gentle pull of movement, soft and deliberate. The water murmurs quietly as it passes stones and fragments of carved walls, turning each obstacle into ripples and reflections. You float with the stream, letting its rhythm carry your thoughts into softness, releasing the weight of past tension and allowing calm to deepen steadily. The wind brings a faint fragrance of jasmine and rose, brushing against the scattered petals and softening the space with its gentle touch. You notice how each scent seems to settle in the mind, filling it with calm and warmth. Even in the quiet remains of sacred places, these subtle offerings of nature carry care, patience, and devotion. You drift with the fragrance, feeling your spirit relax into the quiet beauty that surrounds you. The sky brightens, soft clouds moving slowly across the pale blue, reflected in pools and on petals alike. The petals' colors glow gently in the diffused light, painting the ruins with delicate warmth. You float among the scattered flowers, letting their slow descent, their soft hues and their gentle rhythm teach the mind to settle, to turn inward, and to find quiet space in each breath. Soft footsteps cross the stone floors, echoing lightly among the columns and arches. Those who pass move slowly, leaving petals in their wake, small gestures of remembrance and reverence. You drift alongside them, noticing how each movement is unhurried, each act a quiet meditation. Even as ruins speak of past loss, each careful gesture nurtures calm, teaching patience and gentle attention to the present moment. The morning stretches onward, filling the space with light, warmth, and soft sound. You drift among petals, water, stone, and candlelight, feeling the layers of calm weave together. The remnants of temples, though worn and fractured, hold a rhythm that mirrors the soft movement of the mind when it is at ease. You float with this rhythm, letting every sensation, light, fragrance, sound, and touch, carry the spirit deeper into stillness. Let us drift onward, guided by petals, soft winds, and the gentle flow of water. Let the quiet rhythm of ruins and delicate offerings cradle the mind, easing thought and tension, and opening space for peace. Now rest, as petals settle among stone, as candlelight flickers softly across the remains, and as the spirit of quiet remembrance flows gently through you. Let the calm, the subtle beauty, and the enduring presence of devotion carry you into deep, peaceful sleep. The evening sky stretches wide and soft, a canvas of gentle blues and fatting gold. You float through this quiet moment where the air is cool and still, carrying a faint scent of jasmine and candle smoke. The stones of ancient temples beneath your feet feel smooth and familiar, softened by years of rain and wind. The world seems to pause, letting each breath lengthen, each heartbeat slow, each thought settle into gentle calm. Soft shadows stretch across walls and arches, where carvings of sacred stories watch quietly, their forms traced by the last light of day. You drift along the pathways, noticing how the stones seem to hum with a calm, steady energy, as if they remember every ritual, every offering, every whispered prayer. There is no hurry here, only a slow, steady rhythm that invites the spirit to rest, to breathe, to remember the gentle flow of life. Above, the first stars appear, tiny lanterns suspended in the sky. They twinkle softly, each one a distant memory, a quiet reflection of hope. You follow their gentle glow, letting your mind drift with them, feeling as though each star carries a small piece of serenity, a fragment of timeless calm. The temples, the stones, the air, and the sky all weave together into a gentle lullaby, carrying your spirit toward renewal. Along the paths, small pools of water mirror the sky, reflecting stars and the soft shapes of petals that float across the surface. You watch as ripples move slowly outward, spreading reflections across every pool. Each ripple seems to carry away tension, sorrow, and the residue of long-held worries. You let your spirit move with the water, drifting on its smooth surface, feeling light and unburdened, as if the pools themselves are breathing out calm into your mind. Candlelight flickers in quiet corners, illuminating soft petals and smooth stones. The flames bend with the breeze, gentle and unhurried, their warmth wrapping the ruins like a tender cloak. You float among these pools of light, noticing how each flame reflects in the water, casting delicate patterns that move slowly, deliberately. Every flicker, every reflection, feels like a soft caress for the mind, reminding you that even small lights can carry great peace. The wind rises gently, carrying the faint murmur of distant chants. They are slow, melodic, unbroken, like the hum of the earth itself. Each note seems to reach into the heart of the ruins, brushing over stones, petals, and water with quiet patience. You drift with the sound, letting it fill every corner of your mind, soothing thought, easing worry, and creating a space for deep, gentle awareness. As you move through the temple grounds, you notice how the past has softened here. Broken walls, fallen arches, and scattered petals no longer feel like loss. They feel like transformation. Each fragment carries a quiet lesson, each shadow and reflection a reminder that endings can lead to beginnings. You float along these spaces, sensing the spirit's gentle resilience, feeling your own spirit open to its own renewal. The scent of incense rises from small altars, curling into the night air. You inhale slowly, letting the fragrance fill your chest and mind, carrying calm deeper into every thought. Each scent seems to mingle with the soft breeze, the whisper of petals, the glow of candlelight, creating a tapestry of quiet healing. The air itself feels alive with care, and your spirit moves with it, slow and unhurried, guided by the gentle rhythm of presence. Above the ruins, the moon rises, pale and luminous. Its soft light bathes the stones and pathways in silver, tracing the edges of petals, columns, and water with gentle clarity. You drift beneath this glow, noticing how it touches every surface without force, illuminating what is present without judgment. The moon seems to watch over the temple and the ruins, offering quiet encouragement, a serene reminder that calm and renewal are always possible. A gentle stream flows nearby, carrying petals and reflections along its path. You follow its movement, feeling the soft pull of water, its cool, smooth rhythm inviting you to release every trace of fatigue, every shadow of past sorrow. The stream winds gently through the ruins, smoothing edges, polishing stones, and carrying away remnants of tension. You drift alongside, letting its presence guide you toward a sense of completion and serenity. From afar, the soft toll of a temple bell drifts across the night. Its vibrations reach into every corner of the ruins, touching stone, water, petals, and air alike. Each note is long, slow, and deliberate, carrying peace into the folds of your mind. You feel your spirit respond, softening further with every echo, allowing the mind to settle, the heart to ease, and the body to float with gentle ease. Petals continue to drift in the wind, mingling with the candlelight and moon glow. They trace slow, curving paths through the air, landing softly on stone, water, and altars. Each petal feels like a small offering to the spirit, a reminder that beauty persists even in quiet, broken spaces. You float among them, noticing the gentle rhythm, letting each delicate movement guide your own sense of calm, your own sense of restoration. Small figures move quietly among the ruins, performing simple gestures of remembrance. A bowl is placed here, a candle lit there, petals arranged in tender spirals. Each act is unhurried, intentional, and soft, echoing the rhythm of your own spirit. You drift with the motion, feeling the collective care and calmness settle into your own being, as if every gesture of reverence and remembrance carries a spark of renewal for your soul. The night deepens, stars multiply in the dark velvet sky. Their soft lights shimmer across water, petals, and stones, creating patterns that seem to pulse with life, slow and deliberate. You float with this pattern, letting each point of light touch the mind with gentle reassurance. Even amidst ruins, beauty and care persist. Even after ritual endings, the spirit can rise, renewed and clear. The air grows cooler, carrying the faint scent of night-blooming flowers. The temple grounds seem to exhale, a gentle sigh that stretches through columns, pools, and scattered petals. You drift with the breath of the ruins, moving effortlessly through calm and stillness. Every stone, every flame, every ripple of water seems to whisper that the spirit has endured, and now, quietly, it may awaken softly, cleansed and renewed. Soft shadows fold into the spaces between stones and water, blending with candlelight and moon glow. You feel the weight of the world light, a gentle lifting of burdens and worries. The mind softens, the body eases, and the spirit stretches into a gentle expansiveness. Every sound, scent, and movement carries you toward completion, toward calm fulfillment, toward a peaceful readiness to rest. Let us drift onward, carried by petals, candlelight, moon glow, and the quiet hum of sacred spaces. Let the spirit unfold gently, cleansed of worry, free from tension, and open to quiet wonder. The ruins, the water, the stars, and the soft rituals of the night all join together, guiding the soul toward a gentle awakening, calm and luminous. Now rest beneath the stars and soft temple stones, beneath petals and candlelight, beneath the quiet moon. Let the spirit float freely, renewed and serene, ready to sleep deeply, peacefully, as the night holds you in its gentle embrace.